worth it. You know, and through all the tears and the fight and all that, you are blessed with many opportunities. You have a great team behind you.
Yes, I do. She's on it.
So it's all worth it in the end. So with that, like I said, you have struggles and all that. So what would you say was one of the biggest struggles that you dealt with in the very beginning once you transitioned from news to entertainment?
Just figuring out the story I wanted to tell, because entertainment is very broad now, which is really beautiful. But you know, at the time I came, I was like, okay, do I have to talk about like fashion? Do I have to talk about everyone else does the phrase? Do I have to talk about the Kardashians because they're one of the most popular, you know, families? Do I have to talk about this? Like, what story do I want to tell? Because if it wasn't this story, what is it? Finding what your story was a challenge. And the way I figured it out was finding what I didn't want. That's how I found what I wanted. I had no idea what I wanted, but I knew what I didn't want. I was like, cool, this is making sense. So, you know, I was presented with like a reality show a while ago, and I was like, I don't think I want that right now. And then I was presented with this like gossipy show, and I was like, that's not what I want. So the closer, every time I figured out something I didn't want, I was getting closer to what I want. And God was like, we're just gonna create something that makes sense for you. And I'm like, you got my back like that? He's so good. I can't. But, you know, so that's kind of like how, that was one of the biggest challenges, just trying to figure out like what your place was in entertainment, because it can get oversaturated. You start feeling overwhelmed. And I get so sad when people are like, you know, how do I stand out? Because I don't know if I necessarily have the answer of how do you stand out. Everybody is allowed to stand out. Everybody has their own shine. So the question of how do I stand out, you know, is there really an answer for it? It's like, you'll just do it. You'll be you. You'll just be you, and that'll be it. Seriously, that's it. So, yeah.
Yeah, and by you being you, you're not only Stacey, like a television host, but a brand. This girl, I'm telling you, you guys know how much she works. It's ridiculous. So, what struggle do you find yourself going through now that you have all this experience and, you know, you're still working, continuously growing? What is a struggle that you deal with now as the person known as Stacey Ike, the brand?
Right. I would just say wisdom is something that I constantly strive for. And when I feel like I'm about to be elevated and I don't know everything, I struggle in that space. I'm like, God, I don't know if I'm ready, but you're pushing me. You're literally pushing me. So my big thing is like, I want to be as in wisdom and in knowledge and in a path that is directed for me as possible. So my biggest thing sometimes can be, you know, a little bit of self-doubt in terms of, am I ready to go to this next level? Because we doubt ourselves before everyone else doubts us. That's why you have people in your life who believe in you more than you believe in yourself. And so I keep those people close to me because they're like, listen, you've been preparing. You just didn't know, but you were preparing. So in all honesty, my biggest thing sometimes could be like, are we ready to go to the next level? And thank God people around me and Jesus and friends and family are like, yeah. And then you're like, oh, I guess I have to switch shoes and we gotta go.
Let's do it then.
Let's just do it. That's, you know, that could be, you know, kind of a hard thing, but it's always a beautiful thing too.
So with that support system, and I'm part of that support system, tell me about the OTS team. The people behind you.
Yes.
The people who make the dream work. And tell me how you basically like learned how having that team is important and necessary for you to get things done.
Yeah. Well, I think it's just it's a big thing of balance. And so right now, even in the space I'm learning, I like to have my hands in everything. Okay, if we're producing something, if we're writing something, I want to have my hands in everything. And the people around me help me remember that you put us on the team and you trust us for a reason. You don't have to do the most in this way. And that's very calming and just like so appreciated. So it's crazy because my brand manager is also one of my really good friends from Houston, and her and I used to work in retail together, and you know the story, but we used to work folding clothes, and you know, we started sharing visions and dreams with each other. It started making sense. I moved to LA. She was like, give me a call when you need something. Gave her a call the next day. She was styling my outfits through FaceTime, and it started from like one thing to another. Before you know it, I was getting booked on events. I'm like, I don't really know how to respond to these emails. And she was like, let me just take that over. And now she's literally like my right hand. And it's been amazing to have that type of relationship with somebody, because you know them, they know you when you didn't know like what you were trying to do. So there's a lot of trust there. And then, you know, like they just believe in you. So shout out to my girl Presh, and have an incredible one of my strategists and photographers on the team. I went to college with him, Curtis. Like, that relationship is so deep because it's like we knew each other back in the hustle, you know, and like for us to both be in LA killing it, it's amazing to have him on the team. I have there's some new additions too. Been working with Ashley for a couple months, and the beautiful thing about her is like, at the time I was looking for an assistant, and you had just moved to LA. And I love that. I'm like, you just got here, you need to join the team, because it's like I want to be a part of your journey, like something like people were a part of my journey. You know what I mean? Like, I don't take it for granted the people that allowed me to learn from them or grow with them or put me on their teams or help me assist them. So when I get any chance to mentor, even though I'm like still like, oh wait, I'm a mentor, but when I get that opportunity, it's encouraging, because you're like, everybody who poured into me, I just get to pour into you. That's how you keep refilling.